Hello everyone, this is Connected with Eva, first episode for 2026. Before I forget, Happy New Year. I hope you had lovely celebrations, and I hope your start to 2026 has been peaceful, curious, and full of moments of wonder. I want to start today by talking about the energy of this year because astrologically, 2026 feels like a year for imagination, possibility, and expansion. There's something in the air that invites us to soften the walls we've built in our minds, to notice the magic that's always been around us, and to allow ourselves to see life in a slightly different way. Now, I know that might sound whimsical, and it is, but whimsy doesn't mean silly, irresponsible, or thoughtless. Whimsy is one of the most powerful ways to change the way we think, the way we perceive life, and ultimately the way we live it. And that's exactly what I want to explore in today's episode. The magic of whimsy. Every January, people are overwhelmed with lists of resolutions. I'll wake up earlier. I'll finally get organized. I'll exercise every day. I'm not going to eat sugar, something I might say myself on occasion. Currently a resolution in progress. And by February, most of us have quietly abandoned all these goals. It's not that we lack willpower. Well, mostly. It's just that traditional resolutions rarely change our brains. They don't alter the way we see the world. They exist in the realm of should, things we feel obligated to do rather than could or why not. They feel different, they feel big, they feel overpowering, they feel outside of our capabilities, which is a difficult thing to reach for. So today I want to offer something different. Instead of resolutions that dictate what you should do, let's focus on resolutions that expand what you can do. Resolutions that invite you to notice the extraordinary in the ordinary, to play, to explore, and to embrace whimsy in your life. Because whimsy is not just fun, it's transformational. It changes how your brain perceives possibilities, and when your brain sees more possibilities, your life opens up in ways you never thought possible. The first step to living whimsically is curiosity. Curiosity is the part of your brain that whispers, maybe there's more here than I realize. It's the voice that asks, what if? So I invite you to start small. Each week this January, pick something you don't know anything about and explore it. It could be a flower in your local park, a painting in a gallery, a poem you've never read, or even a skill you've always thought was too hard to learn. Ask what-if questions constantly. What if this cute coffee shop was a secret castle? What if I'm the main character in a romantic film? I mean, I feel like this one we do most of the time. What if my cat was secretly a spy? Kind of reasonable, this one. It doesn't have to make logical sense. The point isn't the answer. The point is to train your brain to see possibilities again, things outside of the norm. When you practice curiosity regularly, life stops being predictable. Suddenly you notice the whimsical everywhere, in small gestures, in colors, in sounds, in patterns that used to go unnoticed. And the more your brain experiences these moments of curiosity, the more it begins to expect possibilities. The second way to cultivate whimsy is to create small rituals of play. As adults, we often think of play as something for children. But play is how the brain rewires itself. When you play, the part of your brain that enforces rules relaxes, and the part that imagines, explores, and connects ideas lights up. You don't need big, extravagant rituals. Even 5 minutes a day can make a difference. Try drawing for a few minutes. Dancing alone in your kitchen to a song that makes you smile, something I personally love, or making your morning tea as if you're brewing a magical potion that's going to give you superpowers. These tiny rituals tell your brain it's safe to imagine, it's safe to be creative, it's safe to wonder. And when your brain feels safe, whimsy becomes a natural part of your perception. The third way is to break your own rules. We all have invisible limits we impose on ourselves. I can't draw because I'm not an artist. And personally, my high school art teacher helped with that because he had this thing where he would call us all stupid because we were not very good at drawing. These self-imposed rules quietly restrict our possibilities. I myself have loads and know firsthand how unhelpful these rule books can be. This year, pick one small rule each week to break. Wear socks that don't match. Draw something and see the artistry in it, even if it's not perfect. Say yes to a spontaneous idea. Each time you break a rule you created, your brain learns that restrictions are often optional. You begin to see that you can bend reality in small ways. And that is the essence of living whimsically. Notice the unexpected. Whimsy lives in the little surprises, the details we normally overlook. Take a moment to really observe the world around you. Notice the shape of a leaf, a stranger's laugh. Take photos of these moments and keep them in a whimsy collection. That will also teach your brain to be present and not live in the past or the future. By training your brain to notice the unexpected, you start to expect delight. Life begins to feel more magical, not because anything has changed about the world, but because your brain has changed. You're primed to see wonder everywhere. Finally, share your whimsy with others. Whimsy isn't meant to be contained. It grows when it's shared. Text a friend something strange and beautiful you noticed. Invite someone to try something spontaneous with you. Or tell someone what made you smile today. Start having whimsical conversations. Change the narrative. Sharing whimsy not only amplifies your own joy, but it creates connection. And connection, real, warm, human connection, is one of the most magical experiences we can have. So to recap, here are the 5 ways to cultivate whimsy this year. Curiosity first. Second, create small rituals of play. Third, break your own rules. Fourth, notice the unexpected. And fifth, share whimsy with others. These aren't just habits, they're invitations. Invitations to see the world differently, to expand what's possible, and to feel magic in everyday life. Try even one of these this week, and you might start noticing the world in ways you haven't before. And when you begin to believe in whimsy, life itself begins to feel different. You teach your brain to notice different things to what it was noticing before when you're reacting from old patterns. Thank you so much for listening. I hope 2026 brings you curiosity, wonder, and a touch of magic every day. If you'd like to be a guest on the podcast or share your own stories of imagination and play, please reach out. I'd love to hear from you. Here's to a whimsical, magical, and extraordinary year ahead. Stay connected. If you enjoy what I do, please follow, subscribe, rate, and review.